Newkirk Precinct.
Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. He is currently down 0-1 from Team Evil Geniuses. It is Jaedong!
And his opponent down in the bottom left side. Currently up 1-0 after an awesome game. Give it up for Polt!
Casters, this evening will be Husky and myself. I'll be your in-game observer for this flight as we're headed into the lovely Newkirk Precinct. This is a map where, honestly...
Sean, that was hilarious, by the way. I just want you to know that was great. I enjoyed that.
You like that?
That was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Now, the only unfortunate thing is that there's not oxygen masks that come down in the middle of those baneling fights, because honestly, those are tense. And it looks like, wow, Polt's actually not going to be going for an early Rax on this map. Going to be going straight for the command center. Now, is he going to build it on low ground, or is he going to go for a little bit more conservative high ground play? We've seen players like Cats just throw the hatch down at your natural. It winds up being a very effective play.
Yeah, looks like Jaedong going to go ahead and just go for the fast expand. And Polt looks like he's going to drop it on the high ground right here. This is the safer play. It is not the most greedy play, though, so definitely keep that in mind. You will generally upgrade it to an orbital on the high ground as opposed to on the low ground. But both players here, I think, kind of agreeing that their strength is going to be in the macro.
Yeah.
And do you think Jaedong needs to do anything different, or was it just a micro battle?
Well, I mean, there's the mid game and then there's now. In the mid game, Jaedong definitely just kind of needs to focus a little bit better on his early game answers, because even though we got the chance to see a lot of the aggression deflected, he wasn't droning up as aggressively. He wasn't upgrading as aggressively. He wasn't getting those macro hatches out and putting pressure back because he wasn't as far ahead in the opening. He fell behind as Polt continued to drill away. In the opening stage now, Jaedong being very cautious with these Overlord movements, trying to spot everything. No gas yet. Looks like he's not going to go on the aggro. He might have some sort of fast third hatch in mind.
I think it might be a good idea given what Polt is going now, and everything has been scouted by the Overlord, even able to spot Polt's gas there. So that was actually the perfectly angled Overlord right there. Not a single thing has gone undetected. The SCV for Polt going to be doing basically the exact same thing, seeing exactly what's going on. He's going to know based on the timing of the creep that was indeed a hatchery first, which is completely standard. Comes up here, sees no gas, and at this point we're just waiting to see, is Jaedong going to go for a third? Polt may try and block it if that's the case.
Now, normally when you hear me use mind games, I use it because I find it hilarious. But honestly, this is a very nice mind game opportunity that a lot of Zergs like to exploit. They permit the SCV to pop on up. You see no gas, and then insta-double gas for an all-in play. Catches a lot of Terrans off guard. We already see Polt preparing to go for this third command center play. So I think this is a reasonable choice for Jaedong to go either direction, either that all-in, or of course, third hatch can never be wrong.
Looks like he has the Queen in position there to try and deny any further scouting. Could go ahead and drop that creep tumor down. We saw a pretty decent creep spread from him in the last game.
Yeah.
And the expansion is now up for Polt. One bunker going to be down. And this is when the wall-in starts to happen. The Ling right there, not getting taken out, but realizes, all right, pretty standard play.
You know, I like that with that note you bring up, that Jaedong had pretty good creep spread last game. This is a map where you must have amazing creep spread, because there's obviously the southern angle that has the sweet wolves. We have this middle path up to the top. We have the northern path. All of these legitimate angles to move an entire army through. You know, not even forgetting about this top side where drops that pull into the 3rd/4th Jaedong can be a real pain. So Jaedong has to be sure to spread his creep not only all the way across the map, but in all the directions that will help him defend himself a little bit more easily.
Yeah, third command center going down. That's somewhere that it can easily be scouted as well. Just one Ling running up there can spot that. The third base for Jaedong. So we might be seeing a pretty intense game here, Sean. Not yet. The momentum is building, the tension is building, but they are definitely setting up for an epic game because both players are going to have a big army, they're going to have a big economy, and the chances of winning in just one battle are a lot less.
You know, I love seeing these super early stages of development, you know, like when the painter just throws down the first few strokes to begin everything, where, you know, sure, it's just a few queens and a few overlords, but look at these positions, sending these overlords out so early to begin getting drop coverage all the way at the start of the game. And of course, Polt preparing for these late game Ling run-bys with these supply depots. I mean, it's just the planning for these players starts so early in these games.
The Hellions here trying to do a little bit of harassment where possible. Of course, it's not going to kill that hatchery, but he wants to see, or at least force the queens down if possible. But more Hellions got to be on the way. Now, you'll notice a slight difference in that there's no Reapers this time mixed in with the Hellions. Instead, it's going to be a Marauder with a couple of Marines, which is still can be a very terrifying push if executed correctly. But we'll see if Polt actually manages to slip in here. Roaches for defense.
Very soft push here by Polt. He's going to try to attempt to run up here. It's just to make sure that the drones don't begin rallying themselves a little too early here. Forces a couple of units out no matter what, targeting the larva. Absolutely fantastic play. I mean, larva just melt to these this Hellion fire, but Jaedong, love this play, so good. I mean, he's already identified that his opponent is likely going for some sort of macro-based play, and most importantly of all, he built 4 queens early. Let's get that hatch up so our 4th queen has some target for that larva injector.
I love it. The creep spread actually pretty good considering how many Hellions are on the field. Jaedong really has it down to a science here. The Overlord's in the middle, going to get, the base game taken out here, but they are able to see the extra production coming up. He knows that he's going to be going up against Bio, potentially Biomine once again, which is what it looks like it's shaping up to be. A couple of drones here, though, getting caught in transition. Is it going to be worth it? Hard to tell.
Ooh, I actually do not like this moment here for Polt at all. I mean, in the last game, he had a lot more opportunities to begin applying a little pressure. In this game, nada. He still has to start the reactors on these, let alone begin building Marines out of them. So this is a heavy powering play from Polt. This is why the all-ins from Zerg became so popular, but Jaedong's answering with a whole different end of the spectrum. I'm going to get 4 bases before 10 minutes. I mean, Protoss players struggle to get 3 bases by 10 minutes. This is just an incredible pace from Jaedong.
Yeah, and I think it's really going to pay off here considering how passive Polt is forced to be based on how early his 3rd base is. Those Hellions still trying to do a little bit of harass at this point, though. They're really only going to be able to get the scouting off. I don't think they're going to be able to kill too many drones. Still does manage to kill a couple drones, but that is eventually going to get taken out, and down that Hellion harass goes. We should be seeing a transition out of this. You see no Hellions on the field, and again, it is going to be Biomine here. Those Marauders are there to absorb some of the Baneling hits. We do have the Armory coming up. That's going to be able to get the +2 and +3 for the upgrades. But Polt, I think, is going to have to be passive here for just a moment.
Yeah, I mean, Polt has almost no vision. Both players don't really have much of an army. Just the mass, macro, mass expand, getting all the upgrades down. Very early pathogen glands out of Jaedong. Typically, we see Ling Muta tends to be, well, really far and away the most popular on this map because this is just such a pain of an angle to defend. But Jaedong's already beginning to get his Spore spine up. He's spreading himself very thin and is going for kind of a large center map control style, which I love because you see Polt not doing a lot of drops, trying to pick one front and shove hard, dumping everything into a single attack angle with mass macro, and this is the perfect answer.
Yeah, more and more medevacs on the way, so those drops could be a potential threat. Pathogen glands nearly done. Centrifugal hooks on the way for the Banelings, making them move a little bit faster. And it does like the Overseer may go down.
Shit, man. That Overseer with the speed upgrade is insanely fast.
And it does look like here just a little bit of pressure from Polt. And again, he may be able to execute this cooling tower. Other than that, maybe not a whole lot. Actually, this is not that defended here. Goes for the drones on gas. Always a good choice here. We'll get several kills. Might get the Queen once again. Very similar to last game. The Infestor spawning. Wrong place, wrong time. The Fungal does land, but killing those Infestors, quite a nice pickup.
I mean, that was just an incredible fortune for Polt. I mean, the Infestors just appeared, and they're like, here, shoot me. And Polt was like, you got it, man. Took him down in a matter of seconds, but of course did shut down a little bit of the aggression. And we see Polt again doing kind of an uncharacteristic move for him, moving out with this medevac into the back of the base.
Really, really like this. On this map, it's kind of hard to get good angles to drop at just because, I mean, it's easily spotted by these Overlords. He's going to go ahead and attempt to do it anyways. But Polt, this is where the aggression starts. 3 bases. Biomine is up. And we'll see if he can continue to reinforce. He's already got more reinforcements on the way. Got to be careful, though. Fungal's going to be coming up. Some of the Widowmines unable to burrow. They get killed off before they burrow there. Not the best start to this push, but killing off a Queen, that's always going to be nice.
Looks like Jaedong spots the drop at the backside, commits a very small number of Lings to it. This is exactly what Polt wants. He wants to drag as many forces to the backside as he can before he begins the push up to the top side.
God, just a creep tumor massacre there in the middle. There's going to be that drop. It does get cleaned up here, though. And Polt unable to put on pressure like we saw last game. 4 bases, relatively unscathed. The minor attack, counterattack that is going to be coming on through. There's a couple Banelings mixed in. That is 4 Banelings. Looks like there might be enough stuff here to defend it, but not at the natural. They might actually be able to kill off lots of workers here, Sean.
A very nice connection here for Jaedong. Managing to get 4 workers. Bottom right, that drop has been delayed, but of course the push in the middle is what Jaedong really wanted to pick up, and success he gets. manages to snag most of those key units. And we're seeing Jaedong barely having the lead in supply, and the Hive is done. 3-3 upgrades, Adrenal Glands. Jaedong teching to Hive quickly, but not going for Hive tech yet.
Yeah, this is a very interesting play from Jaedong. You see definitely a decision to not go for Mutas and instead go for the Infestors. There's the Ultralisk Cavern. Got to be coming on up, and I think Jaedong may have enough to hold on. And if that's the case, if he's able to attack the army before there's too many Marauders, the Ultras are devastating, especially with the Fungals. But at the same time, 4 Marauders at a time. We also had the Drilling Claws for those Widow Mines, making them burrow much quicker. So, I mean, really, both players getting the right tech. You've got to watch out for the Fungal, though.
I mean, this is an extremely close engagement. It's all down to whether these Fungals land, and we're seeing Jaedong position himself at a lot of different angles, actually, sort of sweeping down to the top and back. This very, very difficult battle to control for either player.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to what we saw in the last game, just non-stop aggression from Polt, pushing that 4th base. There's got to be that 4th going down for Polt, though, but it does get intercepted by Jaedong, so you can see just little things going more and more in Jaedong's favor compared to the last game, and forced to lift that off, and burrows the Lings there to delay as long as he possibly can, so Polt's going to have to rely on 3 bases. Here comes a big attack from Jaedong, though, to help clean this up.
Oh, God, those mine hits are enormous. We're seeing... Looks like the Infestor's not quite really willing to commit yet. The small ground force of Jaedong is slowly getting dwindled away, but I mean, Polt is really unable to maintain this position.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about before, where, well, there's more reinforcements for now. He's got to be careful. Does manage to actually get enough mines here, but can he hold the position? There's going to be a big counterattack over here on the bottom left side. Once again, keep an eye on those workers, relatively undefended. Nothing inside those bunkers. The Banelings is cruising through town, but the attack from Polt pushing further in. The SCV is trying to get there. They're bunched up. A nice split here from Polt. Isn't going to be enough. It looks, they overshot just a little bit, but at the same time, Polt's focusing down the hatchery here. Is he actually going to get it? It'll be pretty close.
It's going to be a close bout. 8 Ultralisks, seconds from completing 3-3.
Can he save it?
No!
The hatchery goes
Polt
down.
Gets it.
And it looks like the Ultra's got to be able to clean this up, but guess what? A 4th base on the way for Polt now, but he had to lift off that 3rd, and look at that shot of Zergling burrowed there to prevent that from mining once again, so only mining off of 2 bases now, if you can even count the main base as one right now, but there is, look at that, a huge supply lead now, 171. I guess that's what happens when you make 10 Ultralisks.
That U-button, the savior of players with bad macro or badasses like Jaedong who managed to find the funds in the midst of all that attacking. This base never gets a chance to land. The top left isn't safe. The center isn't safe. Jaedong making it a nightmare for Polt just to hold 3 bases.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we're used to seeing out of Jaedong, is really being able to deny that 4th base, able to kind of return the aggression now. And there's the scan there to clean that out, but Polt needs to get a planetary fortress up. This is going to drive him crazy. He was hoping to have this 3rd base already to be able to re-mac her up, but I mean, Sean, it's 182 supply to 147, and that is a lot of Ultras.
3-3 only just now starting, 3-3 long done for Jaedong, who's been so on point. You know, normally when we think about Hive, we think about Broodlords, Ultras popping out onto the field. Jaedong just gets the upgrades for the Lings, and we're going to see that pay tremendous dividends. All the next attacks for the following 3 minutes are going to be stilted because it's 2-2 Terran versus 3-3 Zerg.
An attempted drop at the top right side, but there wasn't actually a base there. Here comes a big attack here at that 4th base. Can he actually kill it off? Once again, he does get it. Has to watch out for the Fungals, though. Has to escape out of there. No Infestors in sight. That was the exact damage that Polt needed to do. He's going to turn it back at least slightly to buy himself some time for his own 4th base. A beautiful play there.
Well, how much longer is this going to be alive, Mike? I mean, there is everything moving on down. 7 Infestors nowhere to be found. They are far away at the backside. Jaedong just wants this base. I don't know if this is a good decision for Jaedong. He's losing a lot of units. He gets the expansion down, but it's going to be a very close fight. He has to pull back, and in the meantime, medevacs at the south side, medevacs at the top side. Jaedong is half prepared. Wow, Jaedong's totally prepared for this.
Yeah, it looks like the 2 Ultras there are going to be holding that one off. It ain't over yet, though. The Queen actually intercepting some of those Ultras. Enough transfuses saving the Infestors here with a huge fungal on that army, and the Ultras going to try and take advantage of that. Not quite yet, but the full retreat here by Polt still behind, but Jaedong's not exactly maxed either.
I mean, the Lings in the main base able to completely deny this double medevac drop because, again, it is 3-3 with upgrades versus 2-2. This is just not a winning fight for Polt, and Polt suddenly is running very low on resources at all 3 of his remaining bases and is almost mined out in his main.
Trying to take that 4th base to make up for that, but again, he's been having lots of difficulties with that. He's unable to really tech switch into anything else. I mean, it's just going to be Marine, Marauder, Widow Mine. That's all he can afford. Oh, Greater Spire over there. Could actually be seeing some Broodlords. You don't see them very often, but they are very, very good if timed correctly.
I mean, Polt now has the real tragic moment. No planetary fortress at the 4th base, can only afford a previously constructed orbital command. That's an incredibly vulnerable expansion. Even a handful of links is going to deny all the mining there. Jaedong has a fat stack of gas in the bank, easily allow him to transition up to those Broodlords. He's preparing to make a big assault at the front, and right now with Max, for both players, the production ain't what counts. It's about these army sizes. Huge army for Polt.
Yeah, he needs these Widow Mines to get some good hits here. We'll see if he can actually manage to land those. A couple of them do get taken out. Notice how Polt is preemptively splitting up his army. He knows he's losing the macro war just a little bit here. Trying to move out with a big drop on bottom with 3 full medevacs here.
Jaedong doesn't see. He doesn't see, didn't notice.
Backing up now with a couple ultras there, so hopefully in a good position to defend it, but he's also giving up center map control, which means Polt's going to be moving out to at least clean up these creep tumors, pushing it far away from that 4th base here. So both players making some pretty good decisions, which is evening up this game for both of them.
Well, Jaedong's going to continue along with these Ling counterattacks. The Broodlords in mid. Oh no,
but
where
the
are the units to defend him? The Fungals are tremendous, but those burrow so quickly. Amazing connections on the mines. Will Jaedong be able to keep this expansion alive in the main base? The Mega Drop has connected, and Polt attacking from all angles, but Zergling counterattacks at the 4th. The action, the multitasking in this game is insane.
An awesome series, to say the least. The Greatest Spire goes down. The spawning pool is down. At this point, all he can make is ultras, but at the same time, able to kill off that 3rd base, and the Hive Tech does remain. It's just there's no spawning pool.
I mean, who is going to be able to come ahead in this insane chaos? Pulse Expo lifted, his 3rd, rapidly running out of mineral patches. Everything is going dead broke for Polt. I mean, it is just incredible the amount of battles that these players are managing at once.
Yeah, I think, though, that Polt may not have enough income to continue the amount of production that he would like. He's trying to make workers. He has actually the building armor upgrade, realizing he's been losing those expansions a lot, trying to get the extra armor on those buildings. Maybe it'll make a difference. There's a scan there to, again, try and take out these creep tumors, try and push it back further and further for Jaedong. Jaedong's starting to get mined out, though, too. He's only really mining off of 1 base, so that's going to be a good situation for Polt here, but this could still swing either way. The supplies are so close.
I just can't believe how rough of an economic position both these players are in. Right now, the overall army sizes will be favoring Jaedong, just due to the fact that those Infestor Ultra packs can rip down those Marine Marauder packs so easily, but it's these little pickups that Polt's looking for.
Yeah, I gotta watch out for those Banelings, but the creep spread cleanup, at least for Polt's pretty good. Surprised he can even afford the energy here, considering how low his income actually is. It looks like Polt's gonna be moving out towards the north. Looks like the army down to the south might get taken out. Jaedong trying to decide which way to go, switching back and forth, decides to leave Infestors there to try and deal with it. No, he keeps going south. He's gotta try and split his army right now. Gonna try to engage directly. Can he actually do it, though? At the choke point, it's gotta be tough. Jaedong losing both battles currently. Looks like he finally cleans up the south side, but that's a nice concave.
The north side angle. Not looking good, but a mine backfires, picking off most of the medevacs. Polt pulls back to the backside.
My God.
This is one of the hardest games to observe ever, seriously. Jaedong trying to keep this Expo alive, but the Marauders a little bit too strong in this position. Oh no. Oh.
The Widow Mine's about to reset. Gotta watch those Lings. He's cleaning them up, playing with fire.
He's cleaning them up.
And
dangerous move. Pays off for Jaedong. Supplies dead even. This critical 4th expansion is going to be all that's powering Polt for the time being. Jaedong does have 2 expansions that he can rely on, but it is a very grim economic reality for both of these players. Raven's coming out, the efficient unit for Polt. If he connects with some big Seeker missiles, those will turn the tides in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he needs the time to get that energy out, just transferring a bunch of SCVs over to that base. And we mentioned before, no planetary. It's no different right now. So if Jaedong can get some nice Banelings in there, then could kill off all the workers. But right now, I mean, Jaedong's supply is behind. He's relying a little bit. Oh, Fungal there on the Raven. Not quite sure what that Raven was doing. Does launch a Seeker missile, probably fizzle out. There it goes. Not going to be able to land here. But those 2 Lings are still preventing Polt from taking that base over there. They've been there for, like, what, 20 minutes now?
Yeah, I mean, they've been there since the start of the game, basically. Polt now going for yet another pickoff at this Expo, but too many Zerg units. Oh my God, a painful mine. That would hurt to watch right now. We see Jaedong sweeping in with his ultras, but still doesn't have enough for another fungal grow. The Seeker missile connects.
He's going to get that base as well, which is absolutely huge. Jaedong's trying to slip a little bit in the supplies. Does he have any Infestors left on the field? Oh, got to be careful. The Seeker missile going to try and come out, but for now it looks like the Marine and Marauder are micro just too well here. More mines to back up on top.
Polt does not see!
Oh, he's going to get it. Oh, wow. Able to kill all those off. But is it going to be enough, Sean? Because the push is continuing. Jaedong's Infester's completely out of energy right now. Very few Fungals actually left there.
There's hardly anything. He has 3 Zerglings. That is his entire extra force. It's going to be everything in the full retreat right now. 21 workers remain for Polt. But Jaedong does have a slightly better economy, but can he win with just small streams of Zerglings? He doesn't have a Fungal. He's rushing
the Infester!
in. GG!